Welcome back to West Texas View.
Before the break, Nicole and Robert were explaining the ABCs of keeping healthy even if you have diabetes. And of course, always we're talking about how to prevent it rather than wait till you get it. But we were talking about the importance of nutrition, number one, the importance of exercise, number two, and all in this is how important it is for you to go to your doctor and get these three tests that you must have for you to know where you're doing and keep goals set so that you're moving in the right direction, you're changing your habits. And so the picture that we have that shows the ABCs of everything gives a little bit about what's happening in your system. But now let's talk about how diabetes can be prevented.
Okay.
Type 2 can be prevented.
Yeah. Type 2 specifically can be prevented with diet and exercise. Like we've been talking about this whole time, those are the really important things that we want to stress, is that if you're able to maintain a healthy diet and exercise as much as possible, then you can really lower your risk for diabetes and other diseases. Overall well-being will be greater too. When you exercise, you put yourself in a better mood, and you have more energy later in the day. So it really just improves your life all around.
And I've heard diabetics say they start out the day doing pretty good, but then they just get so tired or so jittery, maybe because they didn't eat in the regular times. And I've heard some people say that they're supposed to eat exactly in a regular.
Right. If they can have a routine, they usually work these out with a nutritionist or their doctor. They kind of give them a set goal of times that they need to eat, set time for snacks as well, because snacks are important. They want to keep their blood sugar levels pretty even. You don't want to see big fluctuations because that causes a lot of stress on the body and the pancreas as well. So as long as they can kind of keep a routine and a schedule, it'll be a lot easier to stay healthy. And they won't eat as much because they'll be fuller throughout the day.
And so this chart that we had up was really showing just kind of how this affects blood pressure. If you take your medicines every day, it does all these three, and then other things just are targeted to one area or the other. But one of the overlying factors in this is genetics. So let's say that I'm predisposed because I had a father that had diabetes. Then that doesn't mean I have to have diabetes. So tell us about how important it is to understand your family makeup and if there was diabetes in your family, so you can really be alert.
Yeah, definitely. You want to look at your family and see, okay, who has heart disease, who has high blood pressure. Look at all those diseases that really affect people's lives and see if they're in your family. If they are, then you have the power now to make changes in your own life to prevent that.
And that tells your doctor something. That's why you get all these questions asked by the nurse before you have your first appointment, is they're trying to figure out exactly what you've got some dangers of and some things that you need to prevent. But when let's just say that you went on this really, really strong weight program and you were exercising and doing all that you needed to do. That in itself will not prevent or cure diabetes if you don't have the nutrition component. Am I hearing that correctly? Or is that something that these are two different things that target two different things?
Yeah, I mean, I think we want to look at it as like what they can do in their lives all together. You can't eat poorly and then exercise
it away.
And you can't do that. You really have to be healthy all the way around. So yeah, building more muscle will help with blood sugar. It will keep that lower. But if you keep adding more sugar into your diet, then you're not going to really do any good.
But you know, the part about salt, I hadn't thought about how important it is for diabetics to avoid salt too. I know that blood pressure, that's really bad, but I just hadn't thought about, is it because that salt doesn't metabolize well enough, or what makes salt so bad?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay. So with salt, you have to remember, just remember, water follows salt. Wherever salt is, water is going to be with salt.
Okay.
Okay. So let's say you just ate a bunch of French fries with a lot of salt and pepper. Okay. All of that salt is in your blood. Okay. So that means there's going to be a lot of water in your blood too. More water in your blood means more fluid that your body has to pump. Okay, and that's why you have high blood pressure, because your heart is pumping all this excess water throughout your body, and that's why you feel your pulse. It's just bam, bam. That's what blood pressure is. So the more salt you have, the more water you have inside of you, the higher blood pressure is. Okay. Also, with more salt, your kidneys can't filter all of that salt all at one time. Okay, so you'll always have this extra salt in your body that's attracting even more water, more high blood pressure. So it all has to do with how your body handles salt and how water follows the salt. So,
well, Robert, you mentioned that one of the symptoms is a lot of urination. So in the middle of the night, when you haven't eaten any salt,
right, and you haven't had anything to drink.
So where is this water coming from?
So the sugar in the blood also acts like salt would. It pulls water from the kidney into the urine. So it's just making more urine, even though there's not anything to be filtered. You're not taking any water. You're not, eating. It's the sugar is still acting on your kidney to make more urine. So it pulls water in.
That's interesting. But one of the things that you have stressed over and over is see your doctor, make regular appointments, and keep them.
yes.
Why do people break their doctor's appointments?
Some people think, I feel good, I don't need to go. People only see doctors when they're sick. It should be the opposite. People should see their doctors to prevent the sickness.
That is a perfect way.
I don't want to see you when you're sick. I want to see you happy, okay? So, you have to constantly always remember, I'm going to see the doctor even though I feel fine. I'm still going to take my medicine even if I feel fine. I'm still going to eat good and exercise even if I feel fine, because I don't want to get sick. And by the time you get sick, sometimes it's too late.
That's a great way to end on the program. See your doctors when you're well, and then you won't get sick. And also, I am so impressed by Nicole and Robert, because with doctors like this, our future in the Permian Basin looks really, really good. Thank you very much for joining us today, and thank you, Nicole and Robert, for being with us. We'll see you.
Thank you.
And we're going to invite them to come back. We'll see you next week with another program.
Thanks for joining us for News West 9's West Texas View with Johnny Lou Avery. This has been a public affairs presentation of KWAB-TV and KWES-TV.